Here I have one of the weirdest looking drones that I've ever held in my hands. The DJI Flip. It's a brand new drone from DJI, it's sub 250 grams, it flies by itself, it has a great quality camera. But overall, is it any good? Let's find out today. DJI states that this is their first camera drone equipped with a built-in full coverage propeller guards. And this one is made mostly for beginners who want to take advantage of the new drone technology that DJI has crammed into this tiny body, sub 250 grams by the way, which is a big plus for this drone, but also somebody who is looking for a great quality photo and video flying machine. Now let's start with how this thing actually works, because as you see it right now, it looks like a giant old school bike, or like a Ferris wheel, or like so many other things. But as soon as you unfold it, it actually powers on. So it powers on automatically and it's ready to go. And now you have a lot of things that you can do, a lot of ways to control it, a lot of ways to fly it, and of course to enjoy it. So first things first, you will notice this huge giant sensor here on the front, which looks like LiDAR, although it's not really LiDAR. It's called 3D TOF sensor, and it works in a similar way as LiDAR. It detects obstacles automatically, so this is great for tracking, as you will see a little bit later. Then you will notice that all the props are secured by these prop guards, and overall this cage design is made so you can take advantage of flying this drone around people, so it will be safe. However, if you stick your finger inside, you will still get cut by the props, so take notice of that, don't do it. But you can take advantage of palm takeoff and palm landing, similar to DJI Neo with this drone. Generally, this drone has a lot of similarities with the DJI Neo, as you will notice a little bit later in the video as well. On the side, you will see two little latches for ejecting the battery, like so. You have a micro SD card slot and a USB-C port for activation. And on the other side, you have the power button and the LEDs indicating how much battery you have. Now, one thing which I purposely left out is this button right here, right next to the micro SD card slot. This button is used to quickly cycle through the different quick shots that you can get with this drone. Similarly to the DJI Neo, you have a couple of predefined flights available on the DJI Flip. And when you cycle through them and you pick one, you can hold that button and the drone will select it and it will start hovering, and then it will start executing that exact flight maneuver around you. Besides the palm takeoff and the 6 quick shots that you have, which are follow, droney, circle, rocket, spotlight, and helix, there are a couple more ways of controlling the DJI Flip. First, you can control it via a traditional remote controller such as the DJI RC2, or again, similar to Neo, you can just use your phone to have virtual controller sticks and fly your drone through the interface of the app. It's very convenient and also works really well. Finally, you can have voice control, which you can use to start, stop recording, change different quick shots, change different settings of these quick shots, and easily land as well. Unfortunately, this drone cannot be flown like an FPV drone, so it doesn't work with any DJI goggles or FPV remote controllers as of right now, unlike the Neo. Another interesting aspect of the camera of the DJI Flip is the fact that it's trying to morph a couple of different products into one. The aerial shots that you can shoot have the same quality as the Mini 4 Pro. The close-up shots that you can get pretty much have the same quality as the Pocket 3. With the f1.7 aperture, you can create a really nice shallow depth of field, as you can notice here behind me. So DJI is kind of trying to make this the perfect vlogging drone that you can take high, record nice footage with, and then drop it low to the ground, make it follow you, have that nice shallow depth of field, and pretty much only use that for your camera. we need to talk about the camera of the DJI Flip because this is a big talking point as it has a lot of things to offer. So this camera has a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor with an f1.7 aperture, 48 megapixel photos, 4K 60 frames per second HDR video with 10-bit T-Log M, and a 1080p 100 frames per second slow motion video. So on paper, very similar to the DJI Mini 4 Pro, which I will be comparing directly to this drone in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you want to see it soon. And this drone can definitely produce some very high quality visuals. I'm very happy with both the photos and the videos that I've been getting out of this drone, especially considering the fact that this is sub 250 gram drone with such a tiny footprint. The footprint is kind of weird, but still, it's a small footprint. Similarly to many other DJI drones, this one also comes with a few intelligent flight modes, such as Quickshots, Master Shots, Panorama, Hyperlapse, and of course you can always take advantage of the sub modes that these intelligent flight modes have to offer. The maximum flight time that DJI states the Flip can achieve is up to 31 minutes in perfect conditions, but as we all know, the conditions are never perfect, and as a matter of fact, there is something very important that I want to mention about the Flip when you fly in subpar conditions, and especially in windy conditions. Be extremely careful because this drone is not made to fly in strong winds. As soon as you get that strong wind warning on your screen, land immediately, because I almost lost the drone right next to my house while trying to film a sunset when I flew this Flip in one of my first flights, when I still didn't know how well it is going to work against the winds. A sudden gust of wind almost took this away from me, and I had to run out of my house to actually meet this drone when it was landing, because it landed so far away from my house automatically by itself because I couldn't get it back to me because of those strong winds. It's just the design of this drone is so flat that it makes it super hard to battle any winds, and especially considering the fact that you have these prop guards, it's just impossible for it to really fight back when the winds are strong. So keep that in mind, don't fly it in strong winds and you'll be good to go. But as soon as the wind picks up, just land it. Just land it and be safe with that, because you will lose it otherwise. Now you see how every single time I unfold it, it automatically powers up. That's a great feature, but sometimes it's a little bit too good for its own good, if I can say that. So a few times it turned on automatically by just me grabbing it like here from the side. When you grab it, you might press the power button lightly and it will power on quickly, very quickly. And sometimes you don't even hear it beeping and turning on. So one time it turned on automatically inside my backpack, and it was there for like hour and a half. And by the time I noticed that it's powered on, it was very warm to the touch. The battery was depleted. It was 100% previously, but then it was about 20% left, I think. Just keep in mind that you might be powering it on without even wanting to, by pressing the power button lightly on the side. Now let's do a little experiment. I will try to bump the drone into myself and see whether it will stop or not. So I have it right here. Let's go forwards towards me. Full throttle, and it doesn't want to bump into me. It detects me and it stops. Now if we do it backwards, of course it doesn't have any sensors, so let's just crash it into me and see what will happen. It actually recovered. So it bumped into me. I have a navigation system error, but it bumped into me and it continued flying. Now, let's do it once again. Okay, that was a little bit harder of a crash, but obviously nothing is damaged. We only have navigation error here on the screen. Let's leave the gimbal to adjust itself. And let's start flying again. And everything is good. Now the gimbal was kind of crooked a little bit, so I had to recalibrate it. But once that was done, everything went back to normal. It was 100% back to regular work. The Flip uses the 04 transmission system, so you shouldn't have any issues with the signal regardless where you fly it, even if it's in the heart of a city or on large open fields. You shouldn't have any worries with the signal on this drone. However, like I mentioned already, be careful not to fly it in windy conditions, because this is where not even the good signal will help you get it back, because it just struggles a lot against the wind. So I guess this is the direct reply of DJI for this drone right here, the HoverAir X1 ProMax. And these are very similarly sized. Of course, this one is a tiny bit smaller with a little bit of a different footprint in general. That this one looks like a book. This one looks like Ferris wheel. But yeah, both are very similar in terms of size, as you might be able to notice. And in terms of weight, I wouldn't really say there's much difference that you can easily notice. Here it is against the Neo. And of course, this one is a lot smaller, but I guess this is DJI's way of making a Neo with a better camera. This is their way of not only having a Neo with a better camera, but also competing directly with the HoverAir X1 ProMax. So it's definitely a very interesting comparison coming up against all of these drones. Let me know which one you want to see against which, or should I just fly all of them together, and I'll make it happen. With that being said, guys, this is everything I have for you from today's video with the DJI Flip. Let me know what do you think about this new drone from DJI, this new form factor, new shape and new design. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. With that being said, guys, Mike from Drone Supremacy over and out. Don't ever stop flying, and I'll catch you soon in the next one. Ciao.